Welcome to the second video in our series of 6. This will feature games 3 and 4 in our 12 game series, and it was noticeable that in the second game there was some sabotage. There was a late run to victory. The sabotage actually did more damage to Edinburgh and Leeds than it did to Belfast, the intended target. But we shall see how teams respond. They will have been studying their opponent's form and tactics in the first two games to see what works and what doesn't. You will see that the two winners of the bonus points are now at the top of the table. I suppose in the early rounds that is understandable. Cardiff's turn to move first from the 8 o'clock position. For this game, we've pulled the diameter in by 5 centimetres just to see if that makes a little bit of a difference. There is also a little bit of daylight footage as well, so that might flicker a little bit, so apologies for that. But anyway, off we go. What happens here, of course, is that teams will build in the direction that they want to travel in, but then another team will come up behind them and build in the direction that they want to go. So it's as well to make some kind of allowance for the fact that you are going to get deviated. And what we're seeing here early on is far too many trucks chasing too few bits of roads in these early rounds. So an almighty clog up, really, but let's see how the diametric dash progresses. It will take another round of road building to get anywhere, but should be interesting. Cardiff are first to move, and they're heading for Edinburgh. They've got Birmingham ahead of them. I don't know how that happened, but Birmingham are heading to Newcastle, and it looks as though Birmingham got a clear run through to Newcastle. Yeah, they're coming into Newcastle now in the top right-hand corner. That's 10 points for Birmingham. How about that? Their driver went walkabout last time, so obviously they've relegated him down the pack, and they've got a new front driver, so a very good show from Birmingham. Bristol were second across the board, straight up to Glasgow at the top of the board there, but no prizes for second place, no points. Often trucks are joining the back of the queue in the hope that it will go where they want it to, but every team has its own agenda, and their trucks will be taking the road where they want it to go if they can affect it. So there's a lot of guesswork involved, a lot of judgment calls to make, and by no means guaranteed that it's going to work. The running leaderboard is now up, and that means that teams have hit 7 points. Cardiff, Birmingham, Sheffield, London are all on 7, but we've still got Newcastle, Edinburgh stuck on 2, so they're going to have to move fairly quickly now. And we're hitting some daylight footage there, which I mentioned earlier on, so apologies for that. What you can see very clearly is that once a road has been opened up into a destination, then all other teams pounce on it very quickly, and it soon fills up. And you're just left with a mad scramble to get to the ones that are so far inaccessible. We're now coming up to a position where we need to be slowing it down and taking a look at what has happened, analyse what still needs to be done in order for teams to win this particular game. So we'll just let Newcastle and Glasgow complete their dash up to the north there, and we've got Newcastle and Edinburgh doing the same over in the northwest and the west. Right, well, we're going to look at each team in turn in order of the current position on the leaderboard. Start with Cardiff, and here we go. And they have 3 trucks in a reasonable position in queues, waiting to move off, and they will be helped in that by every other team. But the other poor fella is out on his own and heading up a blind alley. I don't know what he's going to do. Birmingham again, 3 trucks in queues in a reasonable position. The other truck is facing the wrong way, but it looks as though he's just going to turn around and come back to Cardiff. Bristol here, 4 trucks, all very tidily placed in the queues. Again, same with London, they are very handily placed in all the queues that they're in. Sheffield have got a different problem. They've got a truck top right waiting for Edinburgh to move across that big open space there, and it doesn't look as though that's going to happen. They won't have enough pieces of road to get across, which means that Sheffield, who can go an alternative route unlike Edinburgh, they're going to have to make a call very quickly on what they're going to do. They might let him dash off. Liverpool will be compelled to move that big windy convoy in the middle of the board there. Otherwise, they are stuck behind Manchester in the other three spots. Belfast have got the problem of a stranded truck at the top there. Otherwise, they're all handily placed. These are Manchester's positions, and Liverpool are going to hope that Manchester know what they're doing. Glasgow's position isn't helped by being at the back of that long windy queue that's snaking across the board there. Leeds will want to complete that little route that I've arrowed into London, but they are under compulsion to move that convoy into Sheffield. In contrast to most of the other teams, Newcastle have still got 6 out, although most of them look as though they are in a comfortable position. They are under compulsion to move one or other of these convoys that are down here at the bottom of the board. And that leaves us with Edinburgh, who are in a bit of a sorry mess. 8 trucks still out. They will want to complete that very quickly with a couple of road spaces to Newcastle and Leeds. That will only leave 4 pieces of road to get across that vast expanse. It's not going to happen. That poor fellas are gone, I'm afraid. So off we go again, and Cardiff have gone for the spectacular up and over the windy convoy. Birmingham have doubled back on themselves. Newcastle have gone for the Cardiff convoy. Sheffield have abandoned Edinburgh as expected. They've made a dash for it across the middle of the board again. Another late run from Sheffield. They keep doing this. What else have we got here? Birmingham have stuck just outside Cardiff, and Newcastle the same. Just coming into the picture again from the left-hand side. Belfast are stuck outside Liverpool. Sheffield are just completing their late run again up to Belfast now. So it's all coming very close to the end. Oh, yeah, they've started again with road building, and Sheffield have won it. Sheffield have pinched another one. Well, it doesn't take too much of an action replay to see what happened here. We'll just wind it back a few places to there. Flagged up Sheffield and Newcastle. Newcastle are ahead of Sheffield in those 2 queues on the top and to the left, but bottom right, Newcastle's truck is scuppering their chances. So really Sheffield had this game by the scruff of the neck as soon as they got their late dash to Belfast completed. Of course, at the end of a race, there's a mad scrabble to get your trucks in because you don't want to be too far behind the leader when the game is called, when the win is called. So Cardiff moved their truck into Cardiff base, and hey presto, Sheffield were right behind them, claimed the win. So checkmate to Sheffield. Here they come now, in for the win. This is the game result, and coming up now is the league table, which I'll flag up now. There it is. Newcastle's pretty stunning recovery in game number 3 has put them top of the leaderboard. They finished in 2nd place there, sufficient points to get them onto the top of the board. So moving on to game number 4, we've moved the diameter out again, the 5 centimetres for the rest of the season. Birmingham kicking off now from the 9 o'clock position in green, and away we go. Let's see what happens this time. Moving into round 2 of road building. Birmingham, of course, it will go round clockwise. Birmingham always have first pick as they lead off. And it's getting hellishly complicated already. Goodness me. So the first thing that will happen, of course, is the diametric dash. See who gets straight across the board first. More road building here. Belfast coming over to the left hand side. That's not where they want to go. They want to be going to London, but they've got Edinburgh behind them. They've got Edinburgh going to Cardiff. So yep, here they come. Yeah, Edinburgh have got that. So the other teams will not be too dismayed at a back marker in the league table having 10 points. It pegs back the leaders. They don't want the leaders to have all those points. So that's good news for just about every team, and especially for Edinburgh, who won it, of course. So let's see what happens as we progress. There's quite a few trucks still left in Edinburgh and Glasgow. A couple left in Liverpool still. One left in Cardiff. One in Sheffield. One in London. One in Leeds. One in Newcastle. Destinations filling up on the left hand side here. The roads have been opened up already. Oh, and here come the Tartan Army now, if they can get out. Glasgow and Edinburgh en masse are leaving their base. This game does look exceptionally complicated, which is the intention of the diametric dash, to make it a real scramble in the middle of the board when everybody's trying to win those 10 points. And it seems to work. There seems to be some various routes heading towards Sheffield at the moment, all converging in like a funnel. It's quite extraordinary, really. Couple of stranded trucks hanging around. There's a Liverpool truck, there's a Sheffield truck, there's a Glasgow truck that's been left hanging, there's a Bristol truck now. He looks in a hell of a mess. Anyway, more road building carrying on, and they're on into Sheffield now. The leaderboard is up. Leeds are on the top now. Newcastle have taken over. Getting towards the time when we need to be slowing this down to take a look at what is going on. Belfast, they've got a truck making a dash across the middle of the board there. Sheffield sitting on his little plinth like truck of the week in the middle of the board there. I don't know where Belfast is going. We'll just have to see where he wants to be. Oh, it looks like he's joining the back of this queue that's snaking towards Edinburgh. Yep, he's just joined the back of that queue. So let's slow this down now. And as before, we're going to take a look at each team in turn to see how the land lies with each of them, what kind of position they're in. This is Cardiff, and we have 5 trucks out. One of them needs to be in Manchester. That's going to be the second one, or the first one possibly, of that queue on the bridge. Bristol are in one hell of a mess. That truck that got stranded is now having to do all that route that I've arrowed to get to Manchester. Birmingham have got one truck too many heading towards Leeds and Sheffield. I don't know if they need to be told. They should be in Glasgow. Sheffield have still got that truck sitting on his plinth like a catwalk model. Otherwise not in a bad position. London handily placed in their queues. That's not a bad position to be in. Edinburgh, similarly, they've got 5 trucks out. Not too bad a position. A couple of them near the front of their queues there. Glasgow, they've got that stranded truck. Otherwise, not too badly placed. They could easily go for 11 points maybe from this position. Liverpool have got that stranded truck under the viaduct there, under the flyover, should I say, but otherwise handily placed in everything. Manchester looking in a very good position, quite a strong one. Belfast here, they've got a problem with that truck at the back of that queue going into Edinburgh, but otherwise they're doing all right. That's the one that's just arrived. And that leaves us with Leeds, and they are in a very powerful position, except that every team has a problem. Every team bar Newcastle has a problem, and that problem is Newcastle. They're ahead of Leeds in every queue. They are absolutely nailed on to win this one. There's no doubt about this one at all. It's a clear-cut, stunning victory from Newcastle, who've been at the top of the leaderboard since the off, virtually. So let's just now see the run-in. And away they go again. Newcastle have just got to lay those bits of road into Leeds, and bang, they've got it. So we're just going to scroll it back to where we were before, and you can see that queue at the top there heading into Glasgow, at the head of which is Liverpool, Belfast, Cardiff and Bristol ahead of Newcastle, but none of those can win it for reasons already explained. And that means that, in defiance of my predictions, Newcastle have drawn them onto their power base and smashed them, basically. They've left trucks all over the course here. So there's the result. Newcastle, quite frankly, have given most of their rivals a bit of a pummeling in that match. And here's the league table. Newcastle have leapfrogged Belfast into first place, and I hope you'll join us for the third video, games 5 and 6.